It's wine bottling time. A few months ago, I made about 3 gallons of Concord grape wine. It's been sitting and aging, and it's time to bottle it. I should get about 15 or so 750 milliliter bottles, but since I'm not going to use all 750s, I got these 325s, so it'll equal out about the same. And then we'll let it age a little bit. Today I'll be using my auto siphon to siphon this out, and I've got a 5-gallon food grade bucket down here, plastic bucket that's been cleaned and sanitized, and I will be racking all of this into that, and I will leave my little protective knob on. That keeps, if there's any sediment down here, that keeps that off the sediment, and we'll leave that little bit of sediment in here. After that, I'll put my bucket up here, and then I will rack into these. So here I am. So I'll put my racking wand together. Put it down in here, and then the hose goes in my bucket down there, and we'll just give it a few little pumps to get that going. And the reason you want to do this, you want as little exposure to oxygen as you can possibly keep from happening. So I won't bore you with all of this, and we'll be back when I finish racking it into the 5-gallon bucket. Well, as you can see, I've got all my wine racked over into my 5-gallon bucket, and that's about as much as I lost right there. That's not bad. Now, I have racked this, which means I've transferred it to different vessels probably 3 times. So when I started, after the first fermentation, of course, I did that in this bucket. It had probably a 1/2 inch release in there of the sediment. So, you know, you're always going to lose a little bit, but it's not bad. I didn't lose much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I bottle it. I will use the same racking wand and this auto siphon, but now I will use a bottling wand with it, and it's spring loaded, so that way when you put it down in here, you press down on it, it actually lets the wine flow through, and when you let up, it stops. That way you don't overflow and make a mess, or at least I try not to. One of the other things I'm going to do, and I know you can't see all of this, but hopefully you can see this, is I'm going to take the little protective cap off the bottom of the auto siphon, because now, since I have the sediment in the other bottle, I don't have to worry about any of that getting into the bottles, these bottles now. So I'll take that off, and as soon as I can find it, I will take my bottle. And of course, once again, all this has been sanitized. My hands are sanitized, everything. So I will attach this bottling wand to the end of my siphon hose. I'll have to put it down into one of these. And of course, the only way I'm going to start this siphon is to hold that down. So now I'm ready to give it a shot. So I'll hold that down, and I will begin to pump my auto siphon. Make sure I start getting some wine in here. And like I say, see when I stop, when I pull up on it, it stops. This helps from making a mess, and of course I'm putting some paper towels down because this Concord grape wine, it would stain some things up if you let it. So I'm going to go ahead, well, I'll show you one, and then I will just do all of these off camera, and there's no sense in me having you wait to see all of this. But you'll see what I do. I will hold this down in there until it gets up to the top, and then when I pull this out, it'll leave just the right amount of airspace to then cork these. So we go, getting close. Now, if I want to add a little more, all I have to do is just kind of press to the edge of this, like that, and put a little more in it. And all I'm going to do is maybe get a drop or two on the paper towel, go down to this one, and do the same. I'll be right back once I finish bottling all of these. I finished bottling all of my wine, and I thought I would come up close to 15 750 milliliter bottles, and I did. These are 375, so I was this short of having the equivalent of 15 large bottles of wine, so I'll go with that. This ended up being a semi-sweet, I guess, semi-dry wine, however you want to look at it. The specific gravity was 1.014 after I back sweetened it. Came in at around 12.75% alcohol. And of course, when you have a partial bottle, what do? You drink it. So let's give it a taste. And yes, I'm using this little glass. I know it's not a wine glass, but it's small. It's what I like to use for this. Well, what you first get is that sweetness, and of course the Concord grape. You get that right away. And then as you let it sit on your tongue, you get a little bit of that tang, a little bit of that bitterness that you should get. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I was expecting a lot more of an alcohol taste right now since it's so young, but very little. And so, you could sit down with some of this and probably get yourself in trouble if you didn't watch out. Well, what we'll do now, of course, I still have to cork them. And I have my corks here, and I'm just going to do one on camera. This is my sanitization water over here. So I don't let them soak in it. You want to do that. I will put them in the sanitization solution just to kind of wet them. That makes them easier to go into the bottles. And I'm just going to do one here on camera, because normally I would put this down on the floor and do this. But I'll see if I can do it up here without making a mess. Wow, I've been so good, just a couple little drops. If I mess this up, oh, my wife is going to be aggravated. But you place your cork in there, put it right on top of the bottle. I'm used to doing this on the floor. Wow, we shall see. Get that even. And I'm going to have to put this down somewhere. But normally, what you do is you just mash down on it. And then it's corked. There you go. Yeah, it's better I didn't try to do that up here. I might have knocked all these bottles off, and I would have had a mess to clean up. What I'll do, I'll just take this and let them air like this. That way any pressure, any type of air pressure that needs to seep out can do that. So you leave them straight up for a while. And after a few days, I will lay them on their side and leave them like that till they're ready to drink, or till I'm ready to drink them. So there we go, all bottled, ready to age a little longer, and take them out whenever I want them. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, cheers.